Welcome back to Book Bingers, the podcast for book besties that love everything from wingspans to fan theories and
to everything in between.
Everything in between.
Everything.
Just books. We really like books.
All the things.
All the things. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to do a little overrated, underrated.
I love this part.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I feel like we set out to just piss people off with this podcast because every week.
Do you want to make enemies? It's a question I have.
I know. Every week we start with we're going to upset people. And this week's no different.
Nope. There's a lot on here that have your name next to it.
Listen. Okay, let's get into overrated before we get into underrated because I like ending with the good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I don't have as many overrated because I like everything.
You do. Okay, if you haven't listened to this is your first episode and you don't know Sarah is a chronic everything's 5 stars. I love everything. Sunshine and rainbows.
I'm trying to
get
better.
Book.
I'm trying to get better. A 5 now is me something that I will reread
When
again.
you say it's 5 stars, I have to be like, Sarah?
It's a Janelle 3.75. Okay.
I do, and God, do I sound like the bitch in this podcast? I probably do.
No.
I think I'm just a little more for me, a 5 star is I'm ready to tattoo it on my body. I can't stop thinking about it. And then a lot of things are 4 star, 4.5 for me. I do like a lot.
4 is I would recommend it.
Absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
4 to me is still a very high score. 4 to you
is 5.
Yes. But okay, so when I say overrated, it doesn't necessarily mean the books weren't good.
Right.
They just didn't live up to the hype.
Fair.
For me. That doesn't mean I don't like these books. Let me just premise
it's
that.
It's just the way that the internet talks about them.
Correct, because a lot of these books I think people really love. So I'm not trying to say it's not a good book. I just didn't think it lived up to the crazy hype. KK. Premise is out there. KKK. So we're going to start with one that a lot of people really like.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. So, again,
we're in agreement on this one, though, right? This isn't just me.
Yes. It's Colleen Hoover.
It's Colleen Hoover.
She's fine. She serves a purpose.
She's fine. And for all of you that love her, I totally get it. I've read a crazy amount of Colleen Hoover. So it's not that I read one book and I was like, not for me. I've read a lot. She also served a purpose for me.
Yeah.
But is she the queen of romance? No. Is she the queen of spice? When people say this Colleen Hoover book is 4 chili peppers, I'm like, what?
What? I don't want to give you some recommendations.
What kind of chilies are you eating? Because girl. Colleen Hoover is very low on the spice factor.
Yeah. She's like the kind of pepper that you get at Papagino's to put on your pizza.
Absolutely she is. Yeah. She's like a jalapeno pepper wrapped in cream cheese.
Yeah.
A
little bacon.
Yeah,
nice little appetizer.
A little apsies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So we just think it's a little overhyped.
I think she's a little overhyped. I do also think she gets a lot of hate. Let that be known as well.
From us.
But I'm not trashing her.
No.
There are some people that really want to trash you. And I'm not, listen, if you're on the Colleen Hoover tip, great. I've got some recommendations for you that will come later on in this podcast.
Exactly.
Okay, so stay tuned. Don't leave us yet. Don't leave us yet. The next one is me.
Sure is. Because I had a great time.
And again, I'm going to say this is a good book, but I read it after the hype. So everyone was like, you have to read this. You have to read this. You have to read this. It's the best book of the year. Oh my God. And I thought it was predictable.
Fair. It's the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Mm-hmm. So sorry.
It helps when you mention the book first.
It sure does. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn. Listen, I love the name. It's my grandma's name is Evelyn. So I was like, this is going to be a great book. And it was a good book. I saw, and I don't want to give anything away to anyone that hasn't read it yet. And you should read it. It's a good book. It's a good time. I just saw everything coming.
She also always sees the twist coming. So if you are a person who likes to be surprised, never sees anything coming, I think it's appropriately hyped.
It might be a weird red flag for me because I think watching a movie or something with me must be super annoying because I'm like, oh, she did it.
We'll have to ask Corey.
Yeah. So a good book. It was well written. The author is very good.
I think it would make for a really good movie or limited series.
Is it gonna be one?
There's murmurings.
I think it would be a great movie or TV, like miniseries.
Yeah.
I just I read it and I was like, I don't know why people are going gaga over it. It's no better than any of the other books I've read. It was okay. It was okay. It was a solid Janelle 3.5 star.
Fair.
You know?
To me, that's an epic failure.
3 stars, 3.5.
Next on the list is the Twisted series.
This is you.
This is me.
This is you.
Anna, what's her name? Ana Huang.
Where's she at?
Yeah.
She's somewhere.
People talk about it like it's be all end all, like it's this thing that you're gonna go through and eat up.
I actually think this would be a good series for the Colleen Hoover people.
Sure.
Jump up to this one.
Sure. It's definitely a step up in
the Twisted
spice.
series for me is tough because I liked the first one and the second one. The third one lost me.
I read the first two and then I was like,
you would probably find to stop there.
Yeah. All right.
The first one is like a billionaire romance, and those always are kind of cheesy.
And the second one's like a royalty.
Yeah,
romance.
He's like a guard or something, right?
Yeah. He's like her bodyguard.
Yeah. They're no better than any of the other ones that are the same billionaire series. It's kind of the same.
I just feel like this one always gets
mentioned. This one got really mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
I agree. It's fine. A solid 3.5 stars.
Overrated. The next one's all you.
Oh,
Make sure you tell people what the title of the book is. I feel strongly about this one.
The title of the book is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And before you turn this off, I love Emily Henry and I love all of her other books and I do recommend them all the time to people. My issue with this book is literally the premise. The male character is like a pushover. Mm-hmm. He's like a wet blanket. I'm sorry. I don't even remember how many years it takes. 7 years or something before they finally get together. It's a friends to lovers. There's multiple one bed moments where nothing happens, and I almost lost my mind.
That's your favorite trope.
It's my favorite trope. Do not give me a one bed trope and nothing happened. I just DNF'd another book because of it. I want to see tension. I want to see, even if they don't hook up, I want to see the sexual tension happening.
They wake up in the morning.
That's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I just was like, who are these people? I'm sorry. If it takes you 7 years of being best friends before you admit your love to each other.
It's a long con.
I need a guy that's got some oomph to him, and this guy had no oomph. Let it be known, I love Emily Henry though. Highly recommend all her other books. Highly recommend. This one just was so disappointing for me.
The next one is also you.
Oh, okay. So I don't even remember who.
Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
Lauren Roberts. Powerless. It's very hyped right now. And we actually chose it for our book club. And what I like about it is it's very easy fantasy to get into. Very familiar things happening. Mm-hmm. Nothing new that we haven't seen at all. Again, saw the twist coming at the end. I just felt, and it's her first book. Let it be known, it's this author's first book, and I liked it. I actually gave it 4 stars.
So will you read the second book?
Absolutely, I will read the second book. But it was everywhere on TikTok. It is everywhere. Like everywhere on TikTok. I know, and I was everyone was like 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Is that one that people were, paid to talk about?
It felt like everyone was saying the same things, and I've personally been emailed by publishers with talking points, so I know that is a thing.
The banter was very good.
I did like it. It just felt like
it was everywhere.
I just wanted more from her. That's how much I actually liked it. As I just was like, give me more world building, give me more.
There's potential.
But I loved the angst and wit between the two characters. And it did end in a cliffhanger. And I will obviously read the second one. Yeah. Because I'm invested now. Yeah. And I did give it 4 stars.
Fair. We'll see.
It just wasn't 5-star material that everyone made it seem like.
When the second book comes out.
Because I also feel like the second book could anger me. So
Second books are real rolls
Second
of
books
the
are
dice.
tough. It's a real sophomore slump, if you know what I'm saying.
Could be.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
The next one, I think we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
So this is the Hunger Games prequel.
Suzanne Collins? Is that right?
Collins,
Yeah. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games. And there's a movie out. And holy moly, this was not what I wanted from a prequel.
The only reason I read it was because there was so much hype around the movie.
And I loved the book. Oh, yeah, you read it recently. Yeah.
I read it when the movie came out.
So when the book first came out, I think I read half and DNF'd it. And then when the movie was coming out, I was like, well, I'm in a different place in life. Let me give it another go.
Yeah.
First, it's not what I wanted from a prequel. I wanted to know how the Hunger Games, like, started. I wanted the first Hunger Games.
We're in it at, like, the 10th Hunger Games.
We're at the 10th, and it's Snow. And let me tell you, you think it's going to be a redemption story of Snow, like, where his villain story, like, where he started as a good guy, villain origin, and that he'd get there. And let me tell you, he was a motherfucker from day one. This guy is a piece of shit. Asshole. Yeah. Like, I just through the whole book was like, I don't like him.
No, and I didn't even end up seeing the movie because you saw the movie and...
The movie, better than the book. However, only because they make you think that Snow is, like, kind of a good guy. Yeah. Because they take out the dialogue that's in his head.
So maybe that's a little tease of, like...
Maybe a little tease of...
An episode in the future.
In the future
we
of
might talk
movies
about
that are better than
versus books. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. This is you, because I haven't even read this book because you said.
Yeah.
Hold on, please, for audio. Okay.
A little ASMR.
A little ASMR. Need a little drinky drink from a crispy Diet Coke.
Very crispy. Belladonna by Adalyn Grace. I liked this. I liked the book. I liked the second one, Foxglove, better. I will read the third one, Wisteria. I actually am most excited about the character that book is about. I just feel like the way people talk about this book, I thought I was going to love it in the same way that I love Divine Rivals. I thought I was going to love it like in just that this is my personality now.
Yeah.
I did not.
It's a beautiful cover.
Gorgeous, stunning.
It's been on my TBR for a long time, but if you thought it was just okay, then... I don't know what I would think.
So, someday there's going to be something that I think is just okay that you think is the be-all, end-all.
Oh my god, should I read Belladonna? And I'll be like, I'm getting it tattooed on my
Sarah,
body.
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
I really do think that we should do a podcast, though, where, like, you give me recommendations and I give you recommendations and we come back and talk about it.
All right, fine.
Okay, great. What's the next one? Oh, I think, yes, this definitely deserves to be on here.
Blood and Ash. The series as a whole.
By Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Yeah. I read the first, I want to say, 4 books. And the first, 2, maybe 3, I really liked.
And it seems that everybody really likes the first 2. This is so overrated because I think everybody recommends it after you've done ACOTAR.
Read ACOTAR, go to Blood and Ash.
This is going to cure your ACOTAR hangover.
And truly, it does a little bit.
Yeah.
At the beginning, but then when you get into a series, you want to love the series all the way through.
Yeah.
This literally, I have never dropped a series like that.
Especially because you've invested years because it's time in between these books.
And those are thick books.
Yeah. It's a shame because I actually really love Jennifer L. Armentrout, a lot of her other stuff.
Yeah.
Overrated. So when everyone's telling you to read this after ACOTAR, maybe
I
don't.
think there are some other things.
I think we could give you better recommendations.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
Next one.
Also me. The Caraval series.
Yeah.
I read this. I liked it. But the way people talk about it as if, again, it's this epic thing that I'm going to want to make my personality. And I just thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know that it necessarily deserves...
The hype that it gets.
And
it's a bummer because I want to read the other series.
The spin-off series.
But, because I've heard that's better, but I don't know.
Yeah, people love those first 2. Then the third one just came out and... Meh. So, and that's tough. That's where I feel like I almost wish I didn't hear what people thought.
Yeah, I know.
As we sit here recording a podcast about how we feel about books, I almost wish I didn't know because... It makes me want to not even start.
I know that's the problem. Not to get off on a weird tangent, but I was just talking to Corey about how Bride, for example, when you really like something and book talk hates it, you start to question, do I have good taste? Like, was it a bad book? Even with Crescent City 3, like, there are obviously a lot of issues that people have found with that book that I start to question, like,
did I actually like it? Should I not have liked it?
Was this not a good, like, that's the downfall of book talk.
I don't like that.
And I hope we don't make anyone feel like that.
No.
Move on from Colleen
Here's the
Hoover.
thing, we read all of these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, we read them and, like, it was fine. Like, it was worth my time to read them.
We didn't DNF any of these books.
No, I'm just saying that maybe they get talked about a little bit too much, whereas there are other things that I would lift up over them.
Which the last one of our overrated before we go on to underrated. This is a totally different genre than all the other books we've been talking about.
Yeah.
This is dark romance, and it's called The Ritual, and it's super hyped on book talk. It's like I see it all the time. Everyone's like, ooh, you started with Haunting Adalyn, go up to The Ritual. Well, this girl started with The Ritual before I went to Haunting Adalyn, and holy Mother Teresa, like, it is beyond anything.
Mother Teresa with
Mother Teresa, and just beyond anything that my brain could understand, because this guy, not to give away too much, but basically this guy like owns this girl because they're in like a secret society, and like owns this girl, and this girl's like no, and like literally runs away from him. He tortures her but loves her. I don't get it, because homegirl is saying no. She is bawling her eyes out. She ran away to try and hide from him. He found her, and people are like, oh my god, he's amazing. He has this like mask. You'll probably have seen it.
I've seen the mask. I assume that's the one that's on the cover.
Yes. And like, you know, it's just not for me. I literally was like, well, I'm not going on to the next one. These guys are horrible. There's a fine line between like pushing the boundaries, which I feel like Haunting Adalyn did it better.
Yeah, you said it's more tame. Like,
and at least he likes the girl. Yeah. I feel like this guy is cuckoo crazy. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. But moving on.
Yeah.
Underrated. The best part.
Yes.
So these are books we really like that we feel like
don't get enough hype.
Yeah. Would you say these are all 5 stars for us? I'm looking, and I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these are all of mine are 5 stars. So, just so we know, when I say 5 stars, that means I can't stop thinking about them.
Yeah.
Like, and that's true.
Fair.
Let's start it off with what I'm currently reading right now.
Finally.
Which is Six of Crows.
By Leigh Bardugo.
Yes. I finally have started it. You and my husband have been pushing hard.
So I think, like, Shadow and Bone gets talked about.
Shadow and Bone.
But it gets talked about all the time.
I mean, it had a show named Shadow and Bone, even though the Six of Crows characters were in it.
Correct.
And had the better storyline.
And arguably made that show.
Yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for the Darkling and them,
correct.
Everybody else was Yawntown, USA.
So I feel like, you know, you get recommended Shadow and Bone all the time. I say start with Six of Crows. And
you don't, it doesn't matter which one you start with. You don't have to have read Shadow and Bone before you read Six of Crows. Feel free to start with Six of Crows.
And I saw there is a potential on Goodreads for a 3rd book in this series.
Oh my god, I saw that. No, I saw that. Like,
so Six of Crows, Cricket
Kingdom,
it was
like already on there with the title.
Six of Crows, like book 3.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm reading it, and I did read Shadow and Bone, and I watched the show, so I'm already very familiar with the world, and I'm very excited to see what the hype is all about, because y'all love it.
Sure
well, you just really love this author because your second one is also by her.
I must have been in the mindset of like,
and
we need to talk about it.
She's up here. It's Ninth House and Hellbent.
Ninth House and Hellbent. This is
which is very different than Six of Crows.
Dark academia.
Yeah.
Takes place on like the Yale campus, and I feel like it just doesn't get talked about enough.
It really doesn't.
It is. Ninth House takes a little bit to get into. I'm just going to tell you that. It's one of the, like, you got to get the world. You got to figure out what's going on.
Corey got into it fast, though. He loved it.
By, like, midway through the book and all the way through Hellbent,
you're in. It's not a super long book. They're not, like, 800 pages.
No.
Which is what I'm kind of used to.
600?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe to me that's not bad.
That's not bad.
What is a normal book? What is your average book page? Like if
my average,
not ours. If Twisted Love. Here it is. Let's see. Like this looks like an average book to me. And it's
like 400.
Oh god, it's only
340.
So like 600 isn't normal.
No, I would say between 350 and like 400.
Dude, I am not reading normal books then.
No, you're reading a lot of pages.
Okay.
A lot of pages.
That's because the next series on our list is a bajillion pages long, but it doesn't start off that way. The first 2 books are pretty normal size.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at them. It is Zodiac Academy.
Suzanne Valenti and Caroline Peckham.
Dude, the obsession I have with this series is beyond. They're all on Kindle Unlimited, which is just a huge plus in itself.
That's the best.
And there's already so many. I know a lot of people don't want to.
It's almost better to not see how thick the books are.
I know, it's like intimidating for Corey. Heavy. He doesn't want to start it. But I know a lot of people don't want to start a series until it's like finished. They like want a lot of the books out. The last book is about to come out.
Start now
because it's going to take you some time.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. When I tell you Zodiac Academy is like the CW Freeform, it's a cheesy, guilty pleasure in the best way possible. Like addicting, like Gossip Girl addicting, Vampire Diaries addicting. Like those shows where you're like, I understand.
The drama.
Do you remember when TV shows were 22 episodes long?
That's what it
Just
feels
think
like.
of that like this.
Yep.
Because it's so good. But I'm going to warn people before you start this. There is some trigger warnings here.
Asterisk.
That this is a bully romance, meaning it's a little more intense than enemies to lovers because in the beginning, they're cruel to the female characters.
They hate.
They hate. I mean, when I tell you it's not like, I hate but love you. No, they hate each other. Yeah. And it develops into some of the most epic, amazing romances, some of the best villains, some of the awesomest magic use, and you get everything. You get your vampires. You get your werewolves.
It's truly, like, you hate so many characters in the first couple of books.
Literally, I was like, why am I still reading this?
By the end, you are so obsessed with them.
Yeah. The witty banter really keeps me in.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. And it doesn't get hyped enough. And I'm just saying, everybody go read Zodiac Academy.
Please,
5
please,
freaking stars.
Please.
Okay, great. Moving on.
The next one is mine. It's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
I've never read this, nor have I heard
Mandanna.
of this except for from you. So clearly it's very underrated.
Yeah, it's a cozy romance, witchy, and it's just one of those.
Is this new or is this like an old
stakes. Book? I want to say it's not that old.
Like
maybe
within the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a second, I don't know if it's in the same series, but there's a second book along the same vein that's coming out from this author this year. It's just one of those, it makes you feel good. You enjoy it the whole time. You're rooting for the characters the whole time. It's lower stakes.
Love that.
And it's just, it was
nice,
5 stars.
Read.
Like, yes.
And you're still thinking about it.
Yes.
That's the telltale sign.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Totally different genre on the next one.
Yeah. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan.
You love this. Like, love this.
I took a chance. I wanted to add on a book to my book of the month. And I was like looking for a romance. And I said, I love this cover.
Yeah. It's a beautiful cover.
Ate it up. So much so to the point that like the second book in the series was on NetGalley. And I was like, oh my God, how fast can I request it?
This is a true 5 star, Sarah. This should be your barometer of where you're rating things.
Yeah.
Look at your face compared to when you were talking about these ones.
I know. And that's what I mean. Like,
this is 5 stars.
It was so good. And you got to look up trigger warnings for it because there are some very, very heavy topics, but I think she writes them so well. And
this is like straight romance.
This is straight.
It's not young adult.
Contemporary romance. And the characters are just so well fleshed out. Like they just literally feel like people that you would meet in real life.
I feel like from what I've seen of it, it can be a little gut wrenching.
Sure
so be prepared for some emotions.
You're gonna cry. Absolutely.
But like, I love that. That means I love the characters so much.
Yeah. You get real attached, and it's just there's a lot of. It's not your typical like, here's the formula.
Here's spice. Yeah.
But
is there even any spice?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. You get your tears.
Yeah.
And then you get...
Yeah, I would recommend anything Kennedy Ryan, really.
Perfect. Next one.
Also me.
On my TBR.
It is
Let
on
it
this
be
shelf
known.
somewhere.
I own it. I can't wait to read it. I actually almost chose this book, which is Trial of the Sun Queen.
By Nisha J. Tooley.
I almost chose this book as the book basket I was going to give for Christmas, but then you did it. And I was like, well, okay.
It is honestly a series I still think about.
Yeah.
And there's 2 books out.
How many are going to be in the series?
There's going to be 3 in the series total. The 3rd one comes out this summer. And it's like a bachelor. It starts out like a bachelor type scenario where people are like vying to be the Sun Queen, the trial of the Sun Queen. So they have like all of these kind of quest trials that trials that they have to go through. And I love it in particular because the first line of the book is, "That bitch took my soap."
I love it. The first line can totally
it just
set
grabs
the whole
you
tone.
in. Lore is like the best FMC. She has this big secret that we're still kind of fleshing out, but
I'm so excited to read it.
It's a really good romantasy. Like, you want to go from ACOTAR to something, I would say.
Well, listen, because you said read Six of Crows, so that's what I'm reading, and this one will be next.
Fair. I told you priorities. They're right there.
These are the books you gave to me. I need to give you books now, and then we'll meet back. Okay, the next one. Ooh, I feel strongly about this one.
Yeah, and I think people aren't going to agree with us.
I don't care because it's my show. You want to talk about your opinions? Make your own. Okay, it is Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. It is the novella, or some people call it the 4th book. Y'all don't come at me telling me that a novella is not a book. Whatever. I don't care if you want to call it like 3.5 or 4. But it is... like,
I love it.
A Christmas special, if you will.
Yes.
I love it. I don't know why people... I get why maybe you hated on it if in real time you had waited for this book.
Sure, but, like, don't you just... When you're so obsessed with a world and characters and stuff, just to have a book where they're just existing.
Yes. And just like
seeing like the day to day.
No crazy fighting or trauma. A little snowball fight here and there.
You know, just a little bit of family drama.
Solstice time, a little bit of family drama. We all love to see it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it was like a little more peek into Nesta before we got into
Absolutely. It was the perfect setup
of Silver Flame. I think it's going to be one of those, like, every winter I have to read this book. Well, I always reread ACOTAR, but, like, I don't skip Frost and Starlight when I'm rereading my series.
No.
I love it. I love it so much.
Absolutely.
To me, it was a 5-star book, and I don't get why people hate on it. Y'all are crazy. It's underrated. Don't skip it. I don't care what your friends are telling you when they're like, read ACOTAR, but you can skip this one. No, you can't.
I'm also going to add an aside here. Don't skip Tower of Dawn. Okay. Okay? Don't skip Tower of Dawn.
Did you hear that, Corey?
I am a Kale apologist. You heard it here.
I've never not liked Kale.
He deserves his
Every story needs the, like, normal human character that doesn't have powers.
Irene deserves her story. Okay?
Irene is...
Yeah.
She's important.
So don't
spoilers,
don't skip Tower of Dawn.
Unless you're Corey, in which case I'll just tell you what happened.
Corey, I think that you should read Tower of Dawn.
Oh! Okay, moving on.
Next is the Bonds That Tie series by Jay Bree.
Yeah.
I read this.
Yes, you did.
You have not read it yet. It is on Kindle Unlimited.
It's a spicy bee.
Sure is. And it's like... We're going to go like this with the spicy peppers.
Yeah,
like,
the peppers start with one, and as like, each boyfriend.
book one, it is a reverse harem.
Yeah.
That was my first foray into that.
For those of you that don't know what a reverse harem is,
we got one girl.
Multiple men.
Yeah, so, like, book 1, I feel like there's not even any spice.
Yeah.
But then book 2, we start to go, like, 1 pepper. Mm-hmm. Book 3, 2 peppers.
Yeah. It gets up to 5,
book
right?
Book 6, 5 peppers.
So 6 books, and they're all out. There's no more, right?
They're all out.
So perfect for people that want to read a whole series.
But they are another, like, I would put it in, like, the Zodiac Academy. Like, you can just
Just binge.
Like, binge
Is
them.
this on Kindle Unlimited?
It is on Kindle Unlimited.
Ooh.
And
I love a Kindle Unlimited series.
And you grow to, like, you hate some of the guys.
Yeah.
And you grow to absolutely love them.
I love when that happens.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
The next one is, like, just an author in general.
Also, the FMC in that series is fucking powerful.
Well, we love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stand, like, annoying female characters.
She is just...
Yeah. Give me strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magical
power.
One?
She has power.
Okay.
There's magic powers.
Sarah really wants you guys to read this book.
Magic powers, guys?
Magic powers, strong female character, lots of men, lots of spice. Guys, go.
I'll let you take the next one.
The next one is just an author in general that we recommend.
Oh, God.
To everybody, and I don't know why more people aren't obsessed with her, but her name is Megan Quinn. And I want to say all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, and she has a lot.
A lot.
But we will narrow it down to 2 series that we recommend people to start with.
Yeah.
And I think we might even do a book club. I think so. So the I don't know what your favorite is. So I'll just recommend my favorite series by her, which is the one that got me into Megan Quinn. And it's the Agitator series. And it is a hockey romance series. You don't need to know anything about hockey to love it. Just know that they're professional athletes in Vancouver. And holy moly, do I fall in love with these characters. And it's one of those books, we all know it, where like you start with one couple and then the second book is like side characters that were in the first book and now it's their story and it keeps going, right?
And you just keep, because you love all the characters.
Them. And like, I love these books, these type of books, because it really doesn't matter which one you start with, because clearly I started with the most recent one and then went back. You started the right way. But I ate it up. Megan Quinn knows how to do the right amount of spice.
Sure does.
Where there's still like a strong storyline, and the spice.
There's banter. She switches it up like the
friends to lovers or enemies to lovers. She can do it all.
Yeah.
And holy crap! Can I just say her most recent one in the Agitator series, which is He's Not My Type. Holy crap! The spice is some of the best spice I've ever read. Not because it's the quantity of it, but the quality of it.
Yeah. Quality spice.
Megan Quinn! I can't
But
wait.
can I just say that since seeing Dune, all I can think of when we say spice is spice.
Yeah, spice.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And the other series we recommend, I'll let you talk about.
Oh, the Kane Brothers series.
Yeah.
Yes. So these, all 3 of them are based off of, it's a billionaire romance series. All 3 of them are based off of like one's Pretty Woman, one's...
Yes, the first one is A Not So Meet Cute, and it's based off of Pretty Woman. Second one is
When Harry Met
Sally.
Sally. And the
third
one
one is My Best Friend's Wedding.
There you go. And she just has a lot of good... Like, the banter's fabulous. Those covers are...
They're so cute, aren't they?
So cute.
And she redid them, because there's some other ones.
The, like, references to pop culture are so good.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And just funny. I find myself laughing through them. And there's not many rom-coms that I give 5 stars to, because they're only so whatever. But these ones I can't stop thinking about, so they got a solid 5-star.
Yeah.
Both
I
series.
talk about them a lot.
All the time. All the time. Perfect. What else we got?
We will meet Megan Quinn someday.
Oh my God. Please. I love her.
The Prison Healer series. So this is up there in another series that I would recommend for people who are like, I loved ACOTAR. Where do I go next?
Yeah.
It is a YA, but it's a romantasy, and no one ever talks about it. The covers of these books are gorgeous, which is always a selling point for me.
Selling point.
Obviously. But it's a fantasy series that I think people should just give more of a chance to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just doesn't, it's underrated. 3 books.
Ooh, love it. And it's finished?
It's finished.
Why, Kindle?
No.
Library, people.
Library, Libby.
Yep.
You know.
Independent bookstores.
Yeah.
Go find them.
Not the Zon.
Next one. I agree with this.
Abby Jimenez.
Yeah.
In
I
general.
agree.
Anything that she writes.
Yeah.
Yours truly was, it actually just got announced as the book of the year for book of the month.
Which is so weird that people still aren't really talking about it.
It is the first romance book to ever get book of the year.
It was really good. I read both of them. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She writes really good characters too that like
this
are
is another
flawed.
one. Yeah. This is another author I'd recommend the Colleen Hoover people
Yes.
to jump up to.
Yes.
Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez. I definitely agree.
Yeah. She's solid.
good.
She's solid all around.
But like the fact that book of the month is like, read this girl.
Yeah.
Y'all should.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one, I know we talk about
talk about Rebecca Ross
and Divine Rivals. Ruthless Vows has gotten
which I think is
a lot of
appropriately hyped. Do you know what I mean? Divine Rivals is by no means underrated.
Yeah.
People are talking about it.
Appropriately hyped.
But what no one else is talking about is her other books.
She has other books. And I initially started this series because it's the first book is A River Enchanted.
Yeah.
The second one is Fire Endless. The covers are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
Not the US covers. The UK covers are beautiful. But I think the US covers in paperback are actually the UK covers, so
great.
they're available. They're available. If anyone cares, okay? Just if anyone cares.
You heard it here.
Anyways, but if you liked Divine Rivals and you like the way Rebecca Ross writes,
Yeah.
this series is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is another
I can't wait to read it.
magical, kind of takes place in a Scotland type setting. I listen to them on audiobooks. I get to the point where I listen to something like most of the way on audio, and then I get so like I need to know what happens at the end.
Yeah.
So I try to find it on my Kindle and like finish it.
I really wish I could get into audio. I'm proud of you for doing it.
Yeah.
Because my brain just wanders. And I'm
I just
what
did it
happened?
with the Atlas 6. Like I like started on audio and I really liked it on audio because it has all these different narrators. And then I was like, I just need to know what happens because my brain reads faster than they can speak.
Yeah. I need to really train my brain to do that because it's not something I'm good at. Maybe it's the ADHD, but I literally, my mind wanders off and I can't, I'm like, what did they say?
Yeah.
Rewind. What's
Yeah,
happening?
I know. If you zone out for 1 second, you miss. Yeah. And, but this narrator for A River Enchanted, she has this Scottish accent and it just adds to the whole ambiance and you just feel like you're really immersed and it's such there's a musical element to the whole series.
Ooh.
So there is some powers and magic in music. And
I love that. That's so different.
yeah, it is very unique in the magical sense, and I feel like the same way that Divine Rivals, she kind of did magic not in like the typical sense.
And you could tell even in Divine Rivals that she liked music. Like music was a part of her as an author because she was dabbling with that. Yeah. So that's really cool. Love that.
So I would underrated. Yeah.
This is like a good list. Maybe this was too much. Maybe we should have done a two-parter. I don't know. But that's a little like taste of just some of the books right now that we can think of. I'm sure there's more, and you guys should tell us what your underrated and overrated ones are. I'm very curious.
Yeah, do you think anything that we put in the underrated category is actually overrated?
Yeah. True.
Maybe.
They're like, or they're like, you missed some of the big ones on your overrated.
Yeah, probably.
But to us, they aren't.
Yeah, to us, we're like,
if you're going to come in here and say Fourth Wing and Akatar, nerp.
So sorry, so sorry.
So sorry, we love it.
So sorry.
Oh, what am I wearing? Oh, I'm wearing Zodiac Academy.
And I'm wearing Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
So don't even try
Come at us. Great. What a wonderful podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been a good time.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week.
We have our new mic, so
I know. Hopefully the audio's a little better.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think. Good times were had. Oh, I wonder how the snapping sounds.
Well, we'll find out. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.